soy sauce, soy sauce, soy sauce. Optionally, if you have managed, sesame oil also good. We're going to steam eggplant today. Lots of you might see these Asian eggplants and you wonder to yourself, what do I do with it? Well, today we make the easiest dish, which is steamed eggplant. To steam, put water in pot. I can use warm water so it'll boil faster, see? Make sure it's nice and hot. You don't need a whole lot. Just enough to actually steam. And I put a rack inside. If you don't have a rack, you can use small glass on the bottom, like a tiny cup or a small bowl or something like that. And what we want to do is to heat this up until the vapor come up, and then we put this on top to steam and cover. So we'll put this on the stove to heat. So to make the eggplant, first of all, you want to look at it and see if it needs to be peeled. Most Asian eggplant tend to be more tender, so you don't need to peel it, but mine look a little bit messed up from being in the fridge for so long, so we'll wash it and peel parts of it that we think look a bit funny. Okay. So just look at which part you think it's diseased, and just try your best to get rid of them. My vegetable peeler is a piece of crap. We'll use a knife instead. So I don't like these. Don't like these. It doesn't need to be too precise at this point, because if you have a good eggplant, you actually don't need to peel it at all. It's just this one has a little bit of frost burn in the fridge, so we want to probably just clean those up a little bit here. Okay, so this is probably good. Now what you want to do with the eggplant is you want to make them fit into the plate. And you can do that by not cutting but shredding the eggplant. So to shred the eggplant, I'm actually quite new at it. I guess just channel your inner beast and just rip it into pieces. What you can do, you can break on the side, right? Apply some kind of shear on it until the elasticity chart beginning to collapse into plasticity, and it doesn't come back. Okay, so while you're peeling, if you see some part that you think is a little bit weird, you can get rid of them. But I think discoloring is okay, because it's kind of like rust, you know. It's not, I don't think it's inherently poisonous or rotten or anything. So you want to make sure they're about this thin. I think it's a good thickness from what I was experimenting with yesterday. So the idea is you definitely want them to be similar thickness, so they cook evenly, right? Otherwise, they don't cook at the same rate. That's no bueno. Okay, so let's continue to shred. So eggplant is one of my favorite vegetables because it's a vegetable that tastes most like meat if you cook it right. It has a very good savory tone to it. We'll probably get rid of this. Okay, good. Just try to make them roughly the same size, or do your best. Doesn't need to be precise. Again, we're not running for some best chef of the country or something like that, right? No. Okay, see, look nice. And let me rotate it for you. Can you see the water is boiling? So just plop it down and cover. So this should cook within 5 minutes or 10. Depends on. I'll show you how to tell when it's ready. Okay, so now we make the sauce. To make the sauce, we need gratuitous amount of garlic. So think about what will happen if you mince this garlic and see if they cover all the eggplants you have. 3 cloves. No. Let's do. These cloves in the middle are kind of a pain in the ass. Let me just not use them. I'll use this big one. Is it actually 2? Or is it 1? I think it's 2. It's actually 1. Okay, good. So I don't have a garlic press, so this will take a while. So bear with me. We want to chop them into fine. We basically want to mince them, okay? And once we're done mincing them, we'll put them into this cup. So remove the skin, get rid of the bottom. I think I'll just chop them roughly for now and then try to cut them into small pieces by just randomly chopping them on the board. So these are the slices. I think that's good for now. It's almost, since the garlic is so small, it's really hard to actually make any geometric cut out of this. This is too. Try to gauge how much you need. I think that might be too much, so we'll just use 3. It's hard to tell how much they are before you actually cut it, because as you cut it, it gets bigger and bigger, right? Because this is like the compact garlic, right? But as you cut it, you give it more surface area, they begin to get rather huge. So again, with a bigger thing, you probably don't want to mince this way. You probably want to control how you cut it. So the reason you want to mince garlic is because, don't quote me yet, but I think what happened on the biological level is the garlic cells, inside the cells of these garlic roots, they have 2 different components. And these 2 chemicals are actually not mixed together by default, but as you're beginning to crush the garlic or break down the cell by just, chopping it, these 2 chemical components beginning to mix together and they begin to react. And that's what gives it the strong flavor of garlic that we either love or hate. But this dish demands a lot of garlic, so that's why we need to give them a nice mince. So ideally, if you have a garlic press, God, I need a garlic press. I'll buy one on Amazon or something. I should have taken the one from home when I was at home. It saved me trouble. Give it a nice chop. So we're being extremely patient to make sure we mince them really finely. Okay? Just be very patient. Chop, 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 chop. So, to check if your eggplant is cooked, right? what you want to do is to just poke it with your chopstick. So the state of the eggplant that we want for this dish, you want it to be cooked and already kind of collapsing, but not entirely shapeless. So you want this to be soft, but you don't want it to dissolve into a soup, kind of a goo, because you still want to pick it up with your utensil. Okay. I'm avoiding touching this garlic with my hand because they're very sticky once you chop them. I think in the old days people actually use this as some kind of a glue for some purpose. They're extremely sticky. Okay. And once you have minced your garlic, you want to put just a dash of soy sauce. Yesterday I made a mistake, so I'm just putting enough to cover the bottom. So this is another reason why you want to mince your garlic, because if you don't mince it or don't garlic press it, it's easy to overestimate how much garlic you have because of big chunks. And what you end up doing is you might end up adding too much soy sauce. And then we'll give it a drizzle of sesame oil. Give that a good mix. So see? Okay. Now let's check on the steam. How are you? How are you, gentlemen? So let's test it. Again, just poke it. Does it go through? You see how it's making a hole inside? See, they're beginning to get very spongy and soft. So they're ready. So what we'll do is we'll take them out. Let me show you. Okay. Again, I don't have professional tools here. I will just use some paper towel and my bare hands. Give me a fork. See, it's hot when it gets wet, so you want to make sure it stays mostly dry. Why does it always end up like this? Okay, how about let's put it over there. 1, 2, 3. Alright, good. Did it. Did it, boys. Okay. Woo. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now we just simply drizzle the sauce on top. Try to give it a nice even coating. Ta-da! That's it. So simple, right? Let's take a look. Can you see? This is steamed eggplant. Fastest way of making eggplant that I know of. Maybe you could eat it raw, I don't know. Okay, that's it. Until next time.